guys, I just got done my first week of triples into this peaking block, and I can say that everything's starting to feel really well. Started to hit PRs this week on just regular triples on deadlift, and I start to creep into that territory with both squat and bench as of next week. So within the next few days, I'm going to try to, because I'm not going to be here toward the end of the week, I'm going to try to just bunch everything up. So I'll be squatting probably either tomorrow or the day after, and then either Tuesday or Thursday, I'm going to try to deadlift, and that's going to be a definitive PR. I'm going to try to hit either 595 or 600 dead stop per a triple, which even for a double, that would be a PR, so I'd be very happy with that. But this all aside, just a topic that I wanted to touch on just for today is somebody brought this up to me I guess a little bit earlier, because they said I guess this is a growing trend, even though it's been around for forever. It's just the conjugate style training. And somebody was just asking me why I did block periodization in a linear fashion as opposed to conjugate, because I guess that's typically becoming the bigger trend, is training with super maximal weights 90% or above. That's just becoming more the norm with a lot of newer lifters, so I figured I'd touch on that a little bit. The reason that I personally try to avoid it is because in the traditional sense, you have, I guess, your max effort days, typically 2 a week, 2 speed days, maybe volume days, depending on how you're running it, but that's typically how it's done. And then a lot of the volume you hit is specifically either in your speed work or in accessory work that's not specific to your main lifts. So for instance, with your speed work, you might do really light regular squats at like sets of 3s, like 10 sets or so, just so that you try to accumulate enough volume in order to elicit a growth response, or vice versa. You'll be doing stuff like, let's say, reverse hypers or something like that for like really high, almost burnout type sets, just to get the volume in for your lower back, really focusing on stuff like posterior chain. But for me, the reason why I tend to avoid conjugate style training, West Side style training in general, is just because, and don't get me wrong, I used to do it for a little bit, but got hurt a couple times doing it, but that's really not why I stopped. I think the main reason is because once I ended up understanding a lot of the principles around programming, probably really the driving force and a lot of it tends to be volume. And after a while, it becomes a little bit more difficult to be able to really increase your volume to a point where you can really start to elicit a response without really spending a lot of time in the gym itself. So for instance, on your max effort days, you're probably really not going to be hitting too much volume. Like, you're probably going to be around like that 90% plus your max, maybe for doubles, triples, or something like that, but only for like a few sets, and then maybe some back down sets. But like I said, the majority of your volume typically is going to come on your speed days, slash, I guess, a little bit more during your accessory type movements. And to me, if you're doing stuff like 10 or 12 sets of maybe doubles or triples, anything like that, how much time are you really spending on that lift in particular? You're going to be in there, I think, hours by the time you're going to even be able to develop enough volume to really elicit that growth response. So let's say you're going from 10 to, in a few weeks after that, 13 sets of doubles or triples, and that's going to be a pretty light percentage of your weight, considering that you're probably going to be doing speed for it. So if it's like 65, let's say, percent, if you don't have like bands and chains and working with a little bit lighter weight, you're going to be adding total of maybe 9 reps, maybe 6 reps total through that whole workout over the course of maybe a few week wave or something like that. To me, that's just not enough of a volume increase to really dictate me trying to incorporate that style training anymore. So personally, if it's me, and people can do whatever they want, but my preferred training method is the linear block periodization style. Taking into account, though, if you're having a lot of fun doing conjugate, it's not like you're not going to see results doing it, especially if you already have a nice base built. You're going to be able to maximize probably the muscle that you do have. But as far as off-season type stuff where you're really tending to focus on the volume a little bit more, in my opinion, it's going to be a little bit more beneficial to try to stick with probably a little bit more of a linear style where you can really focus on upping your volume, upping your sets, upping your reps in general. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in a few days.